Tuesday saw the promised laundry list, the announcement of the Forever Friends event, and more for The Sims 4. Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. So I'm going to cover that laundry list, the announcement of the Forever Friends event, and for Adventure Awaits, we got a teaser, and we got the essentially confirmation of the timing of the Townie and Lore Developer Q&A, because it was already announced in the blog post on the pack. So we're going to start with that laundry list. Today's laundry list is here, highlighting top community reported issues we're working to fix in an upcoming update, like toilets, catching fire, career jumps, holiday menu bugs, tenant events, and more. And here's an expanded view so you can see the items on there, because in that screenshot you couldn't see them all. Of course, they shared that on Twitter, but it was also on their Discord. So they have the top reports, which includes 10 of the 41 items noted on the laundry list. So on the first screen on the left-hand side, you had Sims with the entrepreneurial trait experience sudden jumps in career level. However, there is an issue where Sims with the entrepreneurial trait are not actually getting promotions, and that's not, unfortunately, on the laundry list. Then we have a Sim writing a book can't resume it properly after being interrupted by another Sim to socialize. The holiday menu closes when switching between Sims. Skill cheats cannot be used to lower skills. Dome brought to life for upgrades and repairs keeps upgrading toilets with composting container leading to toilets catching fire. That, of course, is an eco lifestyle thing. And then moving on to the middle area, we have Sims always sit to drink water. Tenant events are resolved as a failure even after the property owner fixes what's needed on the tenant's lot. Pets get deformed when traveling to another lot after aging up. You have last exception triggers and Sims reset when exiting a changing table, and then they'll also be releasing a partial fix related to the animations when Sims look at phones, although the main eyelid issues discussed in the thread are still under investigation by the team. And then they have their usual sign off, and we're going to move along and see the actual laundry list, which is with more details, because like I said, there are actually 41 items. They do start with their normal introduction, and then they have a little thing about did you catch their update on the reported save file issues with For Rent and what they're doing for that. And then if you're affected by issues that prevent you from loading a save or even The Sims 4 at all, please read their article there with how we can help, which essentially is them needing people to send their save files. But I covered both of those. They released those posts and whatnot on August 26th, and I covered that at that point in time, which I'll try and remember to add a link to at the end of this video if you would like to see that. So now we have the actual items, starting with the base game and those affecting multiple packs. So for base game, we have that Sims with the entrepreneurial trait experiencing sudden jumps in career level, supposed to be fixed. Now, just an FYI, that entrepreneurial trait is a reward trait that you purchase. And as I had already commented before, there is a separate bug where if you have the entrepreneurial trait, you don't get promoted at all once you get to a certain level, usually once you choose your branch. That, again, as I already said, is unfortunately not on the laundry list. Then you have, a venue info icon in build mode that's not stopping shining when there's nothing new to display. You've got that one about the writing the book that they can't resume it properly, and the Sims always sitting to drink water. And another one is interaction progress, like cooking or writing starts from the beginning after loading. And then you have that one with the changing table. I'm not sure why that's considered a base game, to be honest, since, changing tables come with growing together, though I expect the actual code is in the base game, since I know with one of the kits they have a changing table. And then we have a couple of things there that, well, actually there's a 3 with one in the middle that have to do with swatches and whatnot, but you have that holiday menu closing when switching between Sims. Again, I'm not really sure why that's here and not in seasons, because I would have thought that was a seasons thing. Then we have affecting multiple packs, that skill cheats not being able to be used to lower skills. I'm really happy that they've added that. You can lower it with a mod, but it's nice to not need a mod to be able to do something you should be able to do and always could do it in the past. Some eyeglasses are looking like sunglasses. Some wall mailboxes appear under miscellaneous appliances instead of trash cans and mailboxes. And then summon a privy bush is not available for vampire and fairy child Sims. And then some fireplaces project light from fire backwards. Now moving along, we have some fixes for expansion packs, starting with Enchanted by Nature. Something to do with the hat. fertilizing all crops interaction is not functional on oversized crop plants with oversized crop fertilizer. And then you have that one with the gnomes, which this is kind of it really in a way cross pack, because the gnome thing is from Enchanted by Nature, but the composting container is eco. Business and Hobbies is just a build mode thing in terms of a wallpaper. Life and Death, really the one that's a gameplay issue is the final one. Child Sims don't show up as ghosts when they die due to overheat and freezing. And the other two are just like build by / CAS, it seems like. And Lovestruck, you have not all color tags applied. There's a few that are like this through here. And then for Rent, you have that one with the tenant event failure and the property owners that was in that high level one that we already saw. And now we're moving on for more expansion pack fixes. So the smooth sail diaper pail trash cans aren't snapping to the Lavish One's changing station. Gonna guess the Lavish One is from the kit, because I know it wasn't having anything attached to it. But I'm not familiar with the names enough, but that's one of the things. So then another one to do with the banquet table, which should be in the bars build by category instead of dining tables. In the eco lifestyle, you have another swatch thing. Discovery University, bike pedals aren't aligned with the Sims' feet when riding the bike from the pack. And then you have something to do with Create a Sim, and then something to do with things being miscategorized. Cats and dogs, you've got that one about the pets getting deformed. And then we have a swatch displaying as brown when placed, even though it should be blue. And then another one to do with swatches not placing properly from the looks of it. And then Get to Work, it's something that was miscategorized. So there's a few that are things that are swatch / miscategorized areas in these bug fixes. Now we're moving on for other packs, game packs, stuff packs, and kits. So for werewolves, there's a specific hair that becomes short when you're zoomed out in the game. Realm of Magic, another miscategorized of where it is, and then something with incorrect swatches. Backyard stuff, again, a wrong color swatch. Sweet Slumber Party, the nails aren't tagged for a masculine frame. And then for the Greenhouse Haven, again, a mismatched color swatch to what it looks like in the game. So there's quite a few of the fixes seem to be to do with color swatches, miscategorizations, things like that. And I would say that the majority of the actual gameplay fixes were on that short list, so that would have been 10. There were a couple more than that, but I didn't count them, so I'm not going to say how many there are. Then they go on to say their team continues to investigate other community concerns for future fixes. Please note that, the usual, some topics can be complicated to replicate and require an extended investigation on their end. So even though they're actively reviewing, it's not a guarantee that they'll have an immediate fix for it in the upcoming patch. And that includes that one with the partial fix that they had mentioned in that summary list related to animations when Sims look at phones. So the main eyelid issues discussed in the thread are still under investigation by the team. And they had already mentioned that previously. And that's it for the laundry list. So the laundry list was shared earlier in the day on Tuesday, and then later on they followed up to say mod creators, they have shared the TDESC file for them in the Sims Discord today to allow them to update their mods ahead of the Thursday's base game update. So that of course depends on the modders and if they have the time to do it, but maybe that's a hopeful sign that they'll be able to be fixed quickly, but maybe it's a sign that this update is going to really cause havoc with mods and that's why they're giving it ahead of time. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from modders about, anything from this that might be gleaned from it, like whether it could be maybe causing big issues or not. But that is something that crossed my mind when they shared it ahead of time. Anyways, they also then followed up to say that the fixes in today's laundry list are independent from the issues they outlined in Monday's quality of life roadmap. Those investigations are still ongoing and they'll provide updates on them closer to the base game update in November. So this was already, and honestly makes sense to me, this was ahead of what they had said on Monday, because I'm sure they already had the laundry list pretty much ready to go when they issued that quality of life roadmap. So the other thing is they did actually announce their new event that's coming, which is the Forever Friends event. They're saying starting soon. It starts next Tuesday, the 23rd, which they mentioned in here. So there's free weekly rewards. You can log in to get your Pixel or Friendly Bear plushie, which is the first thing, and there's all the items. I'll have a screenshot at the end too. Embark on a journey. Looks like we might be going back to Sylvan Glade. So this journey is going to capture the magic of childhood. So I'm thinking you're going to have to do this possibly with a child. It kind of looks like they're using a child. So then we have, that is September 23rd to November 4th, and to play now. So as I promised, here is what we're getting with this event. So there are 4 weeks, and it looks like for the 4 weeks there are 3 rewards for gameplay every week. With the first week there is a login reward, and I'm going to go out on a limb and guess you have to claim and place that, and that some of the, or one at least, goal is going to pertain to it, but that's just me guessing. And then there's also this magnet collectibles, which I think is quite cute. Depending on how it places, I might actually use those in kids' rooms. And at a glance at looking at them without having gone into my game to check, there are a couple of things that look a little bit familiar, similar to things that I know we have in the game, but I don't remember where they come from. Like that sort of tank top there and the pillow. Though I think I saw someone say the pillow is similar to a reward we got with a previous event. But I haven't gone in and checked and confirmed that in the game myself. So I'm curious what you think about these particular items and if you're looking forward to the event. So as for timing, the video showed that it's starting next Tuesday, September 23rd. But as for what time on that day, obviously for console players, they'll need the update for them to even see the event. But for computer players, we'll already have had the update. So as to when it's going to go live, I'm curious to find out. The Sims tweeted this short little video clip about 8 contestants, 1 winner who will champion on Sul Sul Island in adventure awaits. So this, I'm guessing, is just an example of something you might be able to do with the pack. Can't really tell for sure. Hopefully, if they're showing it like this, it's something that you'll be able to do for those who are interested in this type of, elimination competition. It seems like it could, because there are different categories of competitions that you can do with the pack. And that was it for that. But while it was already noted in the Adventures Away blog post, we got this essentially confirmation, and it was set up on the Sims Discord for the Get Ready to Dive into the Heart of Givey Point and meet the townies who bring it to life. Join us for developer Q&A with Holly and Rach, the devs behind this vibrant world and its residents. If you've ever been curious about the lives, lore, and little-known details of Givey Point, here's your chance to ask away. So that timing is my time, because if you go over on the Discord, it tells you what time it is in your own time zone. So for me, it's 4 p.m. Eastern, which would be 1 p.m. Pacific. But go over, if you're interested in participating, I suggest you go over now and set up the Townies and Lore Q&A so that you can, check it out. So if you got into your game, you may have seen this message. I know, I obviously saw it. We knew that we were getting an update on September 18th for computer players because we saw that in the quality of life roadmap. Now they're warning us about it in the game. And they're specifically also saying here, if you use mods and custom content, you may want to remove and back up save files, and they have some details on that. I would recommend you back up save files with any update, not just this particular update. But the fact that they're really pointing out this update makes me wonder what changes are coming with it, and if it's going to be something else that's going to be game breaking, even without mods, to be quite honest. But probably even more so with mods. They've released those files, but like I said, it's not like I've seen anything from anybody, at least at the time I'm recording this, indicating there's anything in those files that are concerning. I know with, years ago they made some big changes and they released stuff ahead of time, but they did say that time that things were going to break. They haven't said that this time, but it just seems more implied in what they're doing to me. But if you're concerned, like I'm a bit concerned, I would highly recommend that you make sure that your automatic game updates are off in the EA app if you play in the EA app. And don't update until you find out if there are any issues, or also till your main mods at least have been updated by your modders. And who knows how long that's going to take. Hopefully not as long because they've released those files. But if it's such a big change that it causes modders to have a lot of work to update their mods, it still could take a while. I guess we'll find out soon enough. But anyways, let me know what you think about that laundry list, what you think about the new event coming, and if you have any concerns about the game update coming on Thursday for computer players, next Tuesday, the 23rd for console players. I'd love to know in a comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!